I want to show you something quickly. I recently printed a hanger like this. First out of gray plastic, then out of this green one. There are several ways to process them. And if you process them, then, for example, in particular, you can do this. Well, or not process them at all. It's just that here, because I print them in such a way that they are as durable as possible, these marks remain here. And in some cases, this may not matter. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. But in theory, it seems to me, this can affect the loops that clothes have, and that are used to hang them on a hanger. That is, they could theoretically wear out because of this. But, for example, I use them unprocessed for myself. I only processed one, just for fun. Like this. That is, they can be, but they are, of course, trimmed a little with a knife, so that there are no such nennets. At least, large ones. But still, this rough surface remains. There. And on this side, let's say, it doesn't matter purely aesthetically, but it might not even be visible. So, you can treat it chemically. For example, with dichloroethane or dichloromethane, which is what I did. But chlorimethane is more volatile, but supposedly less toxic, as far as I understand. As far as I remember. There. But the problem, for example, at least with the methane I bought recently, is that it slightly spoils the light. In principle, in this case, for this hanger, I don't think it matters, because this part will be at the top, and it won't be visible. So, I also processed this here. Well, in principle, it doesn't affect it either. That is, I don't think it will be visible. Unless you look closely. Well, if you only process the top part, then in principle, it won't be visible at all. The surface becomes smooth. But the problem is that the light can deteriorate. It can fade. Or mechanically, with a file, sandpaper. It can be cleaned. Here, I've already achieved a very nice smooth surface. Just a preliminary one. So, this can still be processed with sandpaper, a finer grit. But it's already smooth. Here, for comparison, for example, is this unprocessed surface. I can feel with my fingers that here, for example, the surface is rough, but here it's completely smooth. This is a very good hanger. By the way, as I said, it's possible that the dichloromethane from different manufacturers can be different. Or it also depends on the plastic. Because here's an example. So, this hanger, untreated, I'm using it normally. Nothing wears off. As I said, in theory it could. But in reality, it doesn't seem to work that way. And here, I treated this hanger, and, as you can see, the color doesn't change at all. So, this is a different dichloromethane that I had before. It's almost gone. And now I bought a new one, and it changes color. And here, the color hasn't changed at all, it's still the same gray. Here's the treated surface, it's very smooth here. After dichloromethane. Here, it's untreated. I've just discovered another method, which is less expensive, less dusty, but more time-consuming and labor-intensive. It's simply scraping a little more with a knife. So, before chemical treatment, before mechanical treatment, using needle files and sandpaper, I initially roughed it up a bit with a knife. And what if I completely rough it up with a knife? It even turns out very nice. So, you take it, and slowly scrape off the top layer, until the surface is smooth. And that's a very good method. But it takes more time. So, I haven't done much finishing on this side yet, but it's already all smooth. So, it's almost glossy here. It's not just the imperfections that form during printing this way that are cleaned up here. Because this is where the supports are created, and the contact between the supports and the main part creates this roughness. The knife removes this, and the knife also removes, basically, these layers. That is, the layers that, you could say, make up this smooth surface. But, due to the specifics of 3D printing, there are layers here, so, the knife removes these layers too. If you get the hang of it, carefully removing them in thin layers, you can achieve a glossy surface. But, damn, this takes a lot of time. This is already some kind of manual work, and so they need to be chemically treated somehow, some kind of bath, or just do nothing at all.